President Dwight D. Eisenhower is re-elected to the highest office in the land as world peace faces the greatest crisis since the Second World War. His electoral victory comes after a tumultuous campaign in which both the major domestic and foreign policies of his administration were put sharply in issue. A campaign in which the question of the president's health and stamina was put to rest by a searching physical examination and by Ike's own vigorous campaigning. In a time of stress, a great soldier and statesman again receives the vote of confidence of his nation. Israeli contingents slogged through the Sinai desert in the direction of the Suez Canal in an operation that eventually subjugated the area and mopped up nests of Fedayeen commandos, whose raids precipitated the Israeli invasion. The Gaza Strip, long a source of friction, now is the road to Egypt. On the sea, an Egyptian destroyer is captured and towed into the port of Haifa after a short fight off the coast. And on the diplomatic front, Anthony Eden gives England's views.
We've stepped in because the United Nations couldn't do so in time. If the United Nations will take over this police action, we shall welcome it. Indeed, we propose that course to them. And police action means not only to end the fighting now, but also to bring a lasting peace to an area which for 10 years has lived or tried to live under the constant threat of war. Until the United Nations force is there, ready to take over, we and the French must go on with the job until the job is done.
On the heels of Eden's address, the General Assembly hears Canada's proposal for a police force to resolve the crisis, a proposal overwhelmingly adopted in the face of a desperate situation. Hungarians cross the Austrian frontier, ending a desperate race to the west. Behind them, 8 Russian divisions smash into the country to snuff out the 12-day-old freedom. While Russia conceded itself wrong and negotiated withdrawal of all troops, the panzer divisions were moving, a surprise blow masked by cynical deception. The Iron Curtain slammed down to block off all communication with the West. Only these few escaped, most of them women and children. The men stayed to fight without hope and to face a revival of Stalin's worst oppression. Hungary pays a shocking price for a brief moment of liberty and hope. Rescue efforts in the Spring Hill, Nova Scotia mine disaster ended with 26 men still trapped when the shaft was ordered sealed off to prevent a second coal gas explosion that menaced the entire town. The first blast killed 13 and trapped 119. For 80 hours, rescuers fought down the gas-filled slopes to reach miners trapped more than a mile below. 2 rescue workers died of gas poisoning, but the crews pushed through the wrecked, still dangerous shafts to bring the first victims to the surface after hope was all but abandoned. 88 got out alive to be rushed to emergency hospitals. Everyone needed care after the long ordeal of darkness and poisoned air. The Pithead explosion was one of Canada's worst mining disasters. Only rare bravery and a stubborn fight for life kept it from being even more tragic. An old lady who admits to her age is given a birthday party. Interior Secretary Seaton brings a birthday greeting from the President. 2,000 visitors, many representing immigrant societies, gather on Bedloe's Island for the 70th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty, long a symbol of hope and freedom for the homeless and the oppressed. There are candles for the beacon of liberty, gift to this country from the people of France. A plaque is unveiled renaming the island on which the 300-foot statue stands. Hereafter it will be Liberty Island. UCLA puts a crimp in Stanford's Rose Bowl march before 76,000 fans in the Coliseum. It's a major upset in the making as the Bruins of UCLA strike swiftly to chalk up 2 touchdowns in the opening quarter. A block kick leads us swiftly to the second. Bruin end Pete O'Garrow races 42 yards into pay dirt, and the favored Indians are 14 points in arrears. Stanford came close to tying it up. Trailing by 7, Brody engineers a second touchdown. Raftery snares this Brody aerial for a 40-yard gain. And then the 2 Indian stalwarts connect again for the TD. A long pass and a terrific diving catch into the end zone. The score is 14-13. The conversion tells the tale. It is blocked, and the UCLA Bruins win by that 1 point. Close, and yet so far. Homecoming day for the unbeaten Hawkeyes of Iowa takes on a rosy glow in the second quarter. Randy Duncan heaves a 13-yard pass to Den Clore in the end zone, and Iowa leads 7-3. Homecoming fans want more, and they get it only a few plays later. Ken Lone culminates a second touchdown drive with a razzle-dazzle romp of 33 yards. The biggest crowd ever to see a game in Iowa roars as the Hawkeye speedster scores to make it 14-3 at halftime. But then the Wolverines come from behind to win. Shatusky scores in the third period, and a pass play sets up another in the fourth. Jim Manick is the passer. The receiver is Jim, last name Pace. Fourth year in a row, Michigan comes from behind to nip Iowa. Shatusky scores again.